What's going on, guys? I'm Entity Maze, here with my review of the latest Pokemon Sun and Moon anime episode. Episode 76, Super Decisive Battle, Pikachu vs Mimikkyu. With that title now said though, get relaxed everybody, as I will now jump right into this episode review. So the episode begins off with Team Rocket practicing using Mimikyu's Z-move, which I believe this was a good introduction scene because the episode of course is focused on Mimikyu a lot, and also because it just simply showed us that they mastered using this Z-move already, so people won't complain that they used the Z-move without practicing it beforehand. That was actually one complaint people had regarding episode 73, however, I believe it was just fine in episode 73 because we know they learnt the Dark type Z-move pose from Alola Meowth in episode 62. Regardless, getting back on track, I just felt the need to say that. Anyway, Team Rocket, pleased with mastering this Z-move, decide to go and catch Pikachu. I believe Nanu would know where Ash is. However, Nanu didn't, but lied to them saying that they can find Ash in the Thrifty Megamart, which Team Rocket motivated then decide to travel there. Meanwhile at Ash, he is practicing near the library with his Pikachu and Lycanroc. However, Lycanroc got mud on him and everybody thought he would go berserk, but he didn't, which is nice. However, it seems like his berserk mode isn't fully gone yet because we see it within the preview for the next episode, which is confusing as I thought it was over and done with, but I guess we shall soon see how this story will end. Getting back on track with this episode though, Pikachu's Electro Ball was acting a tiny bit weird, which this is good foreshadowing, but for gang right now, just ignore this thinking it was only gonna happen one time. After this, Ash then visits Nanu asking to take part in a trial now that he believes his Pokemon are strong enough, and Nanu, being the lazy guy he is, just basically makes up a trial on the top of his head, telling Ash to go to the Thrifty Megamart to beat a trainer's Mimikyu in a battle, because Team Rocket asked for him earlier on, which this creation to me was really funny. Nanu is such a lovable character. Oh yeah, of course Acerola is in this episode too, and here's the much needed, she's cute. I have to say it in every review. Once Ash and Acerola arrive at the Megamart, Poipo then starts throwing shopping carts, which Team Rocket thought was a ghost, and that to me was so funny for some reason. But of course, once they find out it's Ash, they then plan to engage in a battle against him. And Ash then got surprised by Team Rocket or the trainer, and when Acerola mentioned it's a trial, Team Rocket got surprised too, but they didn't really care just as long as they got to capture Pikachu. Before the actual battle happens though, our boy Beware finds out Team Rocket tricked him and then travels to try and find Team Rocket, and then we get another scene which this consisted of the classmates talking about the kind of Pokemon Mimikyu is, so the audience can get reminded of its abilities before the battle, which I found this clever to include. Not useless. Jumping back to Ash and Team Rocket though, the battle of the century begins, with Acerola being the judge. Pikachu versus Mimikyu. I've been waiting for a full battle, and it was absolutely brilliant. However, I'ma save my thoughts on the actual battle for later. However, at one point within this battle, Beware appears and Team Rocket gets scared as it looked mad. However, Mimikyu managed to convince it to wait until they defeat Pikachu, which was really nice, as I was so scared that this episode would end off with Beware interrupting the battle, but nope, that didn't happen. Thank you, anime creators. After this though, Team Rocket then used the awesome Mimikyu Z-move. But Pikachu learns Electroweb when getting eaten, which this move basically acts like a shield a bit, as he didn't feel any damage from Mimikyu's Z-move. Once again, I'll save my thoughts on this for later. However, to finish off this battle, Ash and Pikachu then get really motivated, and the exclusive Pikachu Z appears once again, and they decide to use it, winning against Team Rocket, and Beware then takes them home. Although many people dislike how the Pikachu Z randomly appears, I believe it's actually decent because how else would you be able to tell how Ash and Pikachu made a Z crystal exclusive to only them? It would be pretty hard. Besides, Ash and Pikachu have to get really motivated too, so it makes sense that it's temporary and it doesn't get abused over time, which is nice. I just felt like I had to say this as I believe people are being too harsh on that aspect. Regardless, ending the episode off now, Nanu arrives to the trial site to see how Ash did, and Acerola confirms that Ash won, so Nanu had no choice but to finally battle against Ash in a grand trial, which Ash gets super happy about. Gotta love this ending shot too. With that story now said though, let's now move on to my overall thoughts of this episode. I expected this episode to already be good based on it from the previews and summaries we had received. However, when actually watching the episode, it was 2 times more good than I thought. In fact, I would say it was a phenomenal episode. Like bruh, I did not expect an episode of Sun and Moon that isn't a Grand Trial episode to make me as hype as I was when watching this episode. It was just that exciting. Of course, why I felt hype was from the main highlight within the story, which was Pikachu vs Mimikkyu, aka the trial. We have a lot to get through regarding this battle, so let's just dive in. The overall battle was filled with fast and fluid action, which was such eye candy to me, especially because the Sun and Moon anime's animation allows for more fluid movement, making nothing within this battle look stiff and actually feel kinda real, so the art style worked amazingly for this battle. But of course, not only that, if you have seen my other videos where I talk about battles in the anime, you will know already that I love fast-paced action. It helps you get excited when watching the Pokemon battle, especially if the camera angles are right for the scene, which within this battle, I'd say the camera angles were perfect. Finally, for this fast-paced action, the scene I enjoyed the most was the tail action. And although that sounds so wrong, shh. Anyway, the exchange of tails were just astonishing to watch. With that fast-paced action now stated, let's now move on to the next thing I loved about this battle, which was how they used the trial sites as an obstacle. We found Pikachu running between shelves, finding dead ends, and even running on top of the shelves and almost getting crushed by them, which I believe was a very nice way to add more into the battle. Plus, with this anime overall, I always love to see how the anime creators incorporate the battlefield into the battle, as it can make for cool strategies. Although there wasn't much strategies, with just shelves, it was enough to make me feel like, wow, that was nice how they used the area for that. Finally, for this battle, I of course love the addition of the 2 exclusive Z moves. In fact, I'm pretty sure none of us saw Ash's Z Crystal returning. When I saw it appear on screen, I jumped out my chair a little shouting, "Oh, it's time!" And like I said within the storytelling section, it makes sense of why it appeared during this trial. And like before, it was such a cool Z move to witness. As for Mimikyu's Z move though, I kinda laughed during it due to how it looked when it was eating Pikachu. But still, it was brilliant to finally see it within the anime and actually see Team Rocket nearly win against Ash's Pikachu for once. Well, the second time. But still, I'm not gonna lie, I was kinda rooting for Team Rocket as they were coming this close to their goal. Every time they get so close to getting Pikachu, I'm like, good for you Team Rocket. To wrap up Mimikyu's Z move too, seeing as my original review on episode 73 got taken down, I'll repeat what I said in that review for this review. I love how each Team Rocket member was given their power to Mimikyu, as they are all one team. It makes perfect sense. Overall, with everything I have said regarding this battle, you can see that I loved it so much. It's one of my favourite in Sun and Moon so far. In fact, I'd probably say the entire episode is one of my favourites too. So, yeah. Anyway, there is one final thing I purposely left out regarding the battle, which we will now talk about, and that is Pikachu learning Electroweb. Once again, like the Sea Crystal, I'm sure none of us saw this coming. This one though was a bigger surprise for me, and I'm glad Pikachu had this move, because once researching the move, I learned that in the games that it does a decent damage of 55 hit points, which is pretty much half, so you know it ain't that bad. However, it also lowers the target speed stat by 1 stage every time it is used, so that indeed will help Ash in battles within the future whenever he finds a Pokemon that is faster than Pikachu and needed to find a way to slow it down. Like, yo, that's gonna be awesome! Finally, for the way how Electroweb works in the anime too, aka capturing the target in a net, looks so cool, and it can even open up some cool strategies. In fact, my boy KG, and you guys should really check out his channel, his original got taken down by ShowPro, so all the support on the new one means a lot to him, link in the description. Anyway, he said on Twitter that he believes Pikachu will capture alternate Necrozma in this net, and I can totally see this happening, which would be such a cool way to take down Necrozma too. It gets me hyped just by thinking about these future battles with Pikachu now. Electroweb just has these cool strategies. Also, finally to wrap up Electroweb, it seems like it replaced Electro Ball, and that is great, because Electro Ball didn't really have that many cool moments within the anime as it should have. Don't get me wrong, there are some cool ones, such as the giant one Pikachu used against Giovanni, the first episode of X and Y, and the Iron Tail and Electro Ball combo. However, that's pretty much it. So I always saw Electroweb to be the most underwhelming move Pikachu had, and with these great opportunities that Electroweb has, I believe it will make for far more interesting moments than Electroball has ever made. Yo guys, I got so hyped that I spat on my screen. Moving away from that battle now though, I do have one more thing I want to say regarding this episode's story, and that is that I love the idea of Team Rocket being the trial. I got some Earth Badge vibes there. Anyway, yeah, it made for a nice excuse of Mimikyu battling Pikachu, and like I said in the storytelling section, it was just funny how Nanu created a random trail on the top of his head. However, seeing as Ash didn't get the Ghostinium Z, the chances of him getting a Decidueye are looking more and more unlikely to me now. And in fact, because Ash didn't get a Z Crystal overall, I believe this can make my theory of Ash obtaining the Steel type Z Crystal more likely once again. I've discussed this theory so many times by now, so I'll just leave the image on screen of what started this theory. And that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on this story. As always, I gave some of my thoughts during the storytelling section, so that counts towards why I like this episode too. However, to finish off this review, let's now move on to the animation and music aspects regarding this episode. Firstly, for the animation, of course it was fluid throughout the whole thing, but the best highlights of the animation have to be both the beautiful Z moves, the fast-paced action they managed to animate, along with using good camera angles, Electroweb, and finally, I just want to say that the setting of the Thrifty Mega Mart looked really nice, especially the colours, as it made it seem like a creepy place, just like the games. As for the music aspects though, this was also another fantastic aspect of the episode. My favourite highlights being all the tunes that played during the Pikachu vs Mimikyu battle, and the music we heard when Ash was training at the start of this episode. With everything I've said in this video though, I have decided to give this episode a rating of 10 out of 10. I just couldn't not give it a 10. I did not have any issues with this episode at all. It was simply a brilliant and hype-inducing episode. However, let me know in the comments down below what you actually thought of this episode though. I'd love to hear, as of course we all have different opinions. And with that said, I can now sign off. So if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and a subscribe for future Pokemon content. It helps out a ton. You'll also become a member of the Entity Squad. For now, this is Entity Maze, signing out. Thank you for watching.